Since we're talking about men and women, what do you think about the roles of men and women in Korea as compared to in America? Because in America, you have a woman she has a choice of being a homemaker. She could be a businesswoman like myself. She could, be an educator. She could do both. It's really kind of whatever she wants to do. And her husband usually, as long as it doesn't cross him, is in support. But I found that in Korea, just from the people I know, many of the women are homemakers. I don't see too many business women out and about. So what do you know? What is your insight about the roles of men and women?
Well, the society, as I said, is changing a lot, and more business women are on their way up. So I think Koreans are one of the last countries to have their women be empowered, but it is happening. It is happening, in that these days, if you go to places like Seoul or more of the developing cities, you'll see women that are in more power positions than men. So, I mean, women, they study hard and they do what they have to do. So they're getting into more powerful positions. I think it's just a matter of time. They just got a late start in Korea.
Gotcha.
Very Confucian-oriented society, so they were very traditional and things like that. But no, the game is changing because they're turning more specialized financially and things like that. So women are definitely on their way up.
That's a good thing. That's a really good thing. As I said, a lot of the women that I've met, they have a degree. They're just at home chilling, and they're okay with that, and that's cool. So I just noticed, the difference. So that's cool that they're coming up. We have these cue cards, which is what I'm reading off of, in case you're wondering why do I keep looking down. Okay, in America, we know, well, most people call us home of the free, because it's the land of opportunity. If you have American Idol, if you have talent, or you can sing, dance, whatever, if you work really, really, really hard, the starving artist will get that 15 minutes of fame, time to shine. Do you think that's the same here in Korea?
No, I actually, that's one area where I think things need to be more progressed. Things need to break down, actually. The Korean system of media, sports, entertainment, things like that. There are a group of people who are kind of set. I guess you could kind of say it's similar in America as well, where you have people who are in charge, and people have to make their way up. But Korea, that hierarchy is a lot more adamant. So where Koreans have a thing, even if I'm 1 year younger than you, I have to call you older brother, older sister, and I have to use all the Koreans have 3 different levels of language where I have to speak up to you, right? So Korea is a very, like I said before, Confucian-oriented society. So 1 year difference in age requires a lot of respect. Now, apply that to different fields like sports, media, where you have people who've been there for a while controlling everything. They might not be the best of talent, they might not be the best judgment of character, but they got the position, seniority, so all the people that are coming up, they gotta, look good to him, I guess. So that's kind of been a problem in Korea, where students, they could be great athletes, and if they don't have the money or if they don't have the right connections, they won't make it. You see that often. And also the entertainment industry, we have actors and singers. Korean, I mean, they're talented. I give you that, they're talented, but they're not talented from within their kind of self.
Like raw talent.
Right. Raw talent. There you go. That's a good word. They're more, they get people that are good looking and they train them, and their contracts are horrible. Like, the manager probably takes most of it, and then when they get famous, they make them famous. They say, okay, I'll make you famous, just again to earn everything you make.
Right.
So they have a lot of problems with that still.
Oh wow, that's something I didn't know was behind the scenes. Because I noticed, like, in America, we have a lot of, like, little holes in the walls, like, where just starving artists are there all the time, open mics, I'm sure you guys know about those, especially on a college campus. Like, there's always something going on talent-wise, and I've yet to kind of really see that here, so I was thinking that you would know, and you knew, so that's great. What would be the hardest thing you had to transition to when you moved here?
Good question. I'm a pretty good survivor. I could pretty much withstand anything, but I have to say I do miss the Mexican food from California.
There's a place in Busan that has it. It's not as good, but it's...
Yeah, I mean, I went to places in near American bases. I went to Seoul, but it's just not the same.
What part of California are you from?
I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't prepare that.
This is Gangster Bassaray. This is why I call him Gangster. He's always doing something hilarious. Hilarious. So... how do I know you? Like, are you a random person off the street? Like, we didn't cover that part. So I didn't want you guys to think that I just randomly grabbed someone and put them on the spot. So how do I know you?
Okay, the story goes that there was this wonderful friend from the school that she teaches. His name, can we say his name? Is that okay?
I don't think he cares.
Okay, we'll call him Mr. D. So there was this guy, Mr. D. He's a good-looking guy.
Hi, Mr. D.
Good-looking guy. And what happened was, one of our church deacons has a daughter that goes to that school. And during our church sermons one time, we had a foreign pastor from Peru come and really challenge our church members, who are mostly Korean, by the way.
They're all Korean.
To go out.
For me.
Hey, I'm not Korean. Okay, to go out and reach out to the foreigners that are in Ulsan, because there's a lot now. And so this deacon, who speaks no English, just saw that teacher, thought, you know, that's the message that I received. So I want to pray and receive God's answer in that. So she calls me up and she says, there's this teacher I saw, and let's go talk to him. And I was like, how do you know him? How are you connected with him? And she's like, I just saw him.
Right.
So I was like,
he's a foreigner, and you know who's not Korean because they don't look Korean.
Right. So, you know, I'm a gangster pastor, so I just
Gangster pastor, right?
let's go see how God works. You know, and I just thought she really had a heart, you know, of prayer. She really had a heart. So we went, talked to Mr. D, and this guy is very open-minded. I was surprised. And,
He's from South Africa, by the way. He's Italian from South Africa.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So he listened to the gospel message that I had to say, and he listened to it very well. And although he didn't necessarily accept right away, I'm sure he might take another look later. But he was very nice and received my contact info and started giving me other contacts as well. And one day, Avery calls me.
It's like my second day here.
I'm like, who? Avery? How do you know my number? But she spoke about Damien. I was like, oh, okay. She said, let's meet. So I said, sure. And we met. And we shared about our visions and the gospel and the ministries that we are doing. And that's how we got to know each other. Now she attends Emmanuel Christian Church. Hey, she started the stalking. Some morning talks. They're
great. They're great. Yes, I attend the church now, and I love it. The people there are great.